So moving right along, guys. It was a Sunday, the Lord's Day, and again, just the graphic novel taking some creative licensing or adding some commentary. Right. It was a Sunday, the Lord's Day, and I was enraptured in spirit. Then I heard a blaring sound behind me, like a trumpet that said, "Write down on the scroll what you see and send it to the seven churches." Jesus says to send it to Ephesus and Smyrna, to Thyatira, to Sardis, to Pergamum, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. John says, I turned to see whose voice was speaking to me. And when I turned, I saw seven golden lampstands. In the midst of the seven lampstands was one, whose likeness was as the Son of Man. He was robed with a garment that flowed down to his feet. Fastened across his breast was a golden sash. His head and hair were white like white wool, as white as snow, and his eyes flashed like fiery flames. His feet were like molten brass come fresh out of a fiery furnace, red hot and glowing, and the sound of his voice was like the surge of mighty waters. In his right hand he held seven stars, and from his mouth came forth a razor swift, dazzling double-edged sword. His countenance blazed like the sun, shining in all its brilliant power. Now just visualize, y'all, which shouldn't be hard. We got these panels, but think about it. John is having this vision. The language he's using is very descriptive. These are not literal. You know what I'm saying? His head and his hair, white. You know what I'm saying? Brightness. That's what John is seeing. That's what John is relaying to us. But just remember, keep in mind, he's standing in the midst of seven gold lampstands. In his right hand, he's holding seven stars. John says, when I saw him, I collapsed at his feet like one dead. But he laid his right hand upon me and said, fear not. I am the first and the last. I am he who lives. Dead though I was, and behold, I am alive forever. He says, and I possess the keys of death and of Hades. The voice says, so now write down everything you have seen, the things that are now and the things that will take place hereafter. So here again, we have context here. He's to write down two things, to write down the things that are now, right? The things that he's seen, the things that are now, and then the things that are going to take place like quickly in the future for John, but it's going to happen quickly. In other words, John is writing about the things that he's seeing in the time in which he is living in. Then, just like Daniel was shown things that were going to happen, John is being shown things that are going to happen. Except for him, they're going to happen a lot sooner than the things came to pass for Daniel.